are you making a film right now, or did you just finish one?
Just finished one. It's shot, and actually, my wife is upstairs in the editing process at the moment. She's been flat out for the last few days. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the new one. It's based on like Irish folklore about mermaids.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's the whole mythology behind mermaids, and it's just this little, and it's more like, this one is more like an art piece. You know, it's all aesthetically pleasing, and the music we have is just so beautiful. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for people to see this one. So this will be my second short, and then I'm directing a film now next that's from an award-winning scriptwriter, and then next year we're going for a feature film, which you'll love. Actually, it's about a punk rock band in Ireland in the early 90s, based on a crazy band that I was with for years. So
yeah, I'm in 100%. Yeah. All right, so let's move into the big three. You know, want to know, one of the other reasons why I do the big three is the art of seeking, right? Seeking new art, and stuff like this is very lost on people after college, right? I think. Yeah. I'm spoiled. You're probably spoiled to where I'm always around new stuff, right? And you know, I don't know if you hear from a lot of, you know, older folks. See, it's like 35. They're like, there's no good music anymore. Or there's no good, you know what I mean? They keep saying stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm always finding new bands, and then people are just like, where do you find this stuff? And I'm like, I just never stop looking.
Yeah.
But
for example, band you sent me on there the other day, you know, there's a new band, and I was vibing on them today. So yeah, it's great discovering new things. But yeah, I know you can get set in your ways, going, no, it was only good back then, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you're a drummer. What's the name of your band?
Amongst the Wolves is my main band, and then I drum for a Prodigy tribute band. Do you know the Prodigy?
Yeah.
Because they weren't massive in America. A lot of Americans, when I was out in LA and stuff, they'd never heard of the Prodigy. Okay. But I think they're a band where everybody would know their songs, but they just don't know it's the Prodigy.
Yeah. Their big hit out here, wasn't it? Firestarter was out. Was their big? Yeah, but I was into a lot of the kind of dark club stuff in the 90s, and so that was like one of the bands. I was the very mainstream looking dude that was always at the goth and weird bondage clubs and all this stuff. But it was so funny to see the people at the door. Like, I remember going to a goth club Halloween night. It was after working out, I just wanted to go kind of listen to some music, and I wasn't even aware it was Halloween. Just wearing like what I was literally wearing sweatpants, and they were just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like a goth club on Halloween is pretty intense, and I'm just like, I just kind of walked in. I was literally just like wearing a hoodie, and they were not into me coming in, but like since I was always there, they're like, all right, come on in,
Yeah, that's so funny.
I mean, I technically looked like I could have told them that I was just like, you know, it'd be like it was like when be the equivalent of that film that you made, you know, when you have all the makeup on and you're dressed up as a normal guy. Yeah, I could have just said I was, you know, underneath all this is a crazy tattoo guy, you know.
Dressed up as an office guy.
Yeah, look at me. I'm dressed up as a guy that just got done working out, you know. Yeah. I'm a douchebag coming from the gym. But yeah, so that was it. All right, so were you into a lot of the 90s kind of like dance meets rock meets kind of dark stuff?
I was like, so I grew up on like, you know, old school metal bands, Panther, Metallica, because my cousin was always in bands and we'd hang out in their shed when they were playing. And they actually lied to us. They used to tell us that they'd be covering like Metallica and Enter Sandman, but they used to tell us that was their song. Yeah. So we grew up that was their song. And then when we heard it on the radio, it's like, they're fucking ripping off my cousin's band. So then I headed towards the more like punk rocky stuff, and I bought the Prodigy, the Jilted Generations CD the day it came out. Yeah. But it also, and I remember this, it also came out the same week that Green Day's Dookie came out. and I bought the two of them together. So I kind of headed more towards the punk rocky SoCal kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then my brother, who would have been like massive Guns N' Roses and Fate No More and all those kind of bands, he got into the rave scene, you know, and I kind of kept to my my punk rock and my scene, you know. So, but I like the crossovers, and I love bands that mix it together.
Yeah.
You know, they mix those beats in together. I love all that kind of stuff. But yeah, any kind of decent music. And the early '90s, I kind of listened to pretty much everything. I like Bon Jovi, and you know, it was all over the place as long as it was decent music. So,
you know, one of the hair band albums that if you just don't look at them and you just listen to the album, it's pretty raw and good, was the Night Songs by Cinderella. Did you ever hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It was, I mean, super bluesy, super almost like AC/DC, but a little bit more funk. Even though AC/DC has always been very funky, you know, I mean, it's like, well, I wouldn't say they're funky, but their beat is just so strong you can't kind of deny it.
Yeah.
But
with Fate No More as well, they had that like funky beat. I still love Fate No More. They were so cool. I remember my cousin having it on record, like Angel Dust on record, and we would just go over and just spend hours just on repeat, just keep going and going. You know, we loved it so much.
Yeah, well, they're a Bay Area group. Like I used to practice down at a place, and like apparently like right down when I got there, they were, well, I think Mr. Bungle was rehearsing there at the time, and they were just like, yeah, you just missed, you know, they because they would go in, they would rehearse, and then they would leave. So I guess they stopped and they went back on tour. You know, one of the Bay Area bands, if you like heavy stuff out here, we were coming back. I have this band Big Ending out here, and we were coming back from one of our shows. And then when we loaded out, we were in our van coming out, and then we noticed this U-Haul pulling into the big loading bay. It was all these studios, and they're pulling in, and we look up, and it was Sleep. You ever listen to Sleep?
No.
There's your homework. Yeah, Sleep.
Heck, damn it.
Yeah, Sleep, and it's basically two bands, Sleep and High on Fire, and yeah, both of those are like staple bands. But we saw them, and we were like, you know, kind of freaking out because they're sort of legendary, but never really made it. You know what I mean? Like they could sell out, you know, huge rooms, but it's the only underground. You know, it's kind of like how, you know, the Pixies didn't sell a lot, but their last tour was like arenas. You know, it's like now that they're done, you know. All right, so the band that you turned me on to, so I always like to talk about some kind of new stuff. What are you listening to now, by the way?
What am I listening to now? Good question. And you know, when I go to the gym, it's like, because I'm old school, I still have CDs like in my car, you know, I have all that. But like, I mean, NoFX are like one of my favorite bands. I
played with them.
No way.
On a Tuesday night when I was 13 years old in 1989.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Were you playing with your band? So you supported them?
My little band. I had a little band. I was in middle school, and we opened for NoFX. We opened for Green Day. We opened for the Melvins. Yeah, we opened for some of the greats. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that kind of stuff. The Mad Caddies. I love the Mad Caddies. You know those guys. They're kind of you should check them out. They're a great summer band. I always put them on the summer kind of ska kind of music. And then at the moment, like I'm actually. Have you ever heard of a band called Bring Me the Horizon?
No.
Yeah, like I kind of hated them for years. They were like really hardcore. They were like really fucking, but they were very scene. But then over the years, they completely changed their sound, and they got like a DJ synth guy in, and they went, you know, like I was saying, I like that crossover. Yeah. So they went more electro with the hardness of them as well, and it works really well. So their last few albums have been really, really strong, really good. And yeah, I don't know. At the moment, I'm listening to like an eclectic thing. Like when I'm piercing, I like, you know, chilled out music. So 21 Pilots are good to stick on in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
What are you listening to?
Well, Future of the Left, that band.
Yeah.
I really like their lyrics. If you read their lyrics, they have this song called Lapsed Catholics.
Oh,
And
that's the me and my wife listened to last night. Yeah,
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 it kind of starts with acoustic, but then it just starts going and
yeah,
the words are just beautiful. Like they're so.
yeah,
And this is the thing about Irish, Welsh, like all those places that just produce a lot of crazy weather, which makes a lot of sad, beautiful, alcoholic poets. Like this is, you know what I mean?
ever.
Yeah, because you've just been wet and cold for like a year. You know what I mean? And you just and I always say, and you just lost your shoe in the fucking yard because it's in mud. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
man, and so I really love people that have this because there's a beauty and a yearning to their heaviness, right? Like just very similar to that Max Factor. It's like even though the songs are angry, they're still made for a room full of people to get together and sing together. I really like that. It's like so it is. It's not a fight song and it's not complaining. It's just saying like I miss my friends. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's saying to me. So there's that. I've been listening to. There's this group out here. So one of my buddies, I have this rehearsal space with one of my all-time favorite bands called Facing New York, and so Facing New York really doesn't exist anymore, but they kind of get together sometimes. So it's us and them. We shared a studio for the past since before Ireland, and the singer for Facing New York went down and became like one of the top producers in the world right now. He did this guy Leon Bridges and this album by this woman Lizzo, and he even did some 21 Pilot songs. He's really good, and but he's producing this woman right now named Saint Panther, and Saint Panther is it's like this little nerdy girl that just plays so many instruments, and she's super funky, kind of hip hop stuff. I've been listening to Saint Panther, and then the other, I mean, as far as like vibe stuff kind of goes, I think for like your tattoo shop, I would turn you on to King Krule. Do you know King Krule?
no,
He's a Cockney British guy. Real cool stuff. If you like the blend, like hip hop, soul meets like kind of dark, weird, sort of obscure stuff. Yeah. And then the other band, I would my other buddy. He used to have a band called Soul Coughing in the 90s, and he just put out a new thing, so I'm looking out for that. It's called like The Ghost of Vroom, Vroom. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been listening to.
Frank Turner, do you know that guy?
Who?
He's from England. Frank Turner.
No.
Oh, he signed actually to Fat Records, Fat Mike from NoFX. He signed, and it's just with his acoustic guitar, very, very chilled out, vibey, but his lyrics and his emotion is raw. Like it is. He's singing from the soul. So yeah, you should check him out. He's really good.
Okay, so I have another thing in the movement thing we've talked about. You do martial arts and all that other stuff, right? You also get pretty beefcake. You're like, it's like, yeah, you gotta. It's a big thing out there in Ireland. You guys are always like, you guys. What do you say? Do you do sport?
Sport? Not really. No. I've no. I don't. I never liked team games.
Good. Me either. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not competitive, which is strange. Like, no, it's not strange, but I'm not competitive. I just like when it comes to martial arts, obviously, and stuff and competitions, I was, but it's a singular thing. Yeah. But when it's a team thing and they're all like, I'm just like, whatever. When can we get food?
Yeah. Okay, so this is why I like music, because it's a team thing where your job is to come together and make something.
Yeah, it's like, not competitive.
Yeah, like in music to me, because I always felt so disconnected from everybody all the time. Music, because I was so devoted to martial arts, and when you're a kid, that's not the cool thing. And so music connected me to people. Yeah, and I felt like getting together with your friends to try to win against another group of it didn't make any sense to me. But music makes sense. Like, I love it when, like, if my band was playing with your band, all I would want is your band to go on stage and your only job is to destroy my band, but in the way that's only going to make my band go, we got to go up there and give it, you know what I mean? Like push it, but we're not doing it to take you down. We're doing it to give a great show.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I like that about music. You know, it's creative. It's creating something.
Different kind of a vibe to the competitiveness of, you know, the sports mentality. It was just never me. But even like, strangely, like, you know, I've been drumming since I was, my mother would tell you I've been drumming since I was like 3 years old. But even though I do like the acting and the stand-up comedy and the live TV and all that, I love hiding behind my drums. I would fucking hate to be a front man.
Oh yeah.
I find that strange, and I sometimes, you know, especially if it's, you know, a packed out gig, and it's just like, wow, I'd hate to be you, that you have to be out there, you know, leading this ship, and I just get to chill behind my drums. When I play my drums, like, honestly, without sounding like too hippie-esque or whatever, I am in my own zone. Like, I'm the most at ease. Life switches off. I am not thinking about anything except playing my drums. Like, I don't think I get much more enjoyment out of anything in life than when I am there behind my drum kit. And, you know, it almost doesn't matter. Obviously, I want to see the, you know, the crowd enjoying themselves and my band and all that, but it almost doesn't matter once I'm there with my drums, you know. So it's like my little net, you know. But isn't it strange though that like, I'd hate to be out the front, but I'm quite shy in life anyway. Like, I don't do well like in social situations. I'm very reserved and quite quiet, you know. And a lot of people take it as rudeness. A lot of people think that I'd be rude. But once I'm comfortable with someone and I get to know them, or if I'm chatting with them one-on-one, or I'm fine. But in social situations, I'm fucking awful, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
In the nonverbal communication world, right? What does it mean to adorn yourself, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, adornment of, you know, when you cover your whole body, it is a way of also, in many ways, it's a way of, you know, hiding. And you like to hide behind drums. You like, you know, you're going to be a great director because you get to be in the back, you know, kind of doing all, you know, it's like there's these things. But, you know, and it's the cluster of things. Like, why are we hiding? Is it because, you know, are we sensitive? Are we this? Are we that? But it's like probably a lot of times what I would think is you like hiding because you can express more openly from that, you know, because it seems like you're more about your expression and not really, you're like, it's not really about me. It's about expressing things, keep moving, keep growing. So, you know,
the juxtaposition between, like, you know, covering yourself in tattoos warrants attention, you know? So it's kind of flip side, but then you're trying to like justify it by going, well, I didn't do it for anybody else's entertainment. I did it because I felt like I wanted it, and I was never like, I'm going to cover myself in tattoos. I want more tattoos. It was never that. It was just, if I wanted something, I'd get it done. I'd never seek anyone's opinion or approval. I would just go and do it. So
exactly,
it's a contradiction. Definitely, I'm a fucking contradiction.
Okay. So, did your wife tattoo you?
Yeah, she has done some tattoos on me. Yeah. Not many, just a few tattoos. But she hates tattooing me because I can moan when it's my wife. I tell her how much it's hurting. I don't have to pretend to be brave.
Did she? Do you even know that she tattooed her name right across your ass?
Yeah, she snuck that in there.
Yeah.
You know, she just fucking goes for it.
So, all right. So be my tour guide, man. So the thing that I noticed most about Ireland, first off, is Irish people know so much about Ireland. I kind of love, you know, it's like there's that thing, but the butter, the butter is so good. Like,
yeah, it's so fattening, but it's so, you know, and fucking Irish people, especially like in the west of Ireland, they'll put it on anything. They'll put it on their fucking cereal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's butter, you know. And that's what they all die of heart attacks, but they die happy, you know.
Yeah. What do you eat out there? And then I have a very important question about America for you. But like, what are you eating out there? Like, what? I mean, I love how Irish people love sharing their, you know, just their town with each other.
Well, I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
So it's it's a little bit different because a lot of like the traditional food with Irish would be meat based. You know, like
beef, yeah,
stew,
lamb,
stew would
yeah,
be the thing
yeah,
out here, and I mean, obviously, and of course we get slagged for it, but potatoes, you know, fucking you have potatoes with everything, you know,
yeah, yeah.
that's another massive thing. Progressively vegetarian wise, it's only kind of starting to catch up with the rest of the world, but it's not even there yet, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, the tough thing is going to restaurants. There's very little options, you know, for you. But I have to say, I was quite shocked out in LA that maybe I wasn't looking in the right places. I thought there'd be like a lot more vegetarian options in, even in fast food outlets and stuff like that. Like the Veggie Grill, that was great when I found that place. That was cool. But I thought there would be a lot more. So it's a little bit tougher, you know, over here.
Did you go to Cafe Gratitude when you were in?
No.
There's Cafe Gratitude, and they have another place. Yeah, it's these kind of weirdo, you know, kind of culty people, but really good food. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When I found that Veggie Grill place, I was delighted. And then we went to, I was trying to think of the name of it there. Travis Barker owns it, and Joe Rogan was talking about it. We went there one night. That was amazing. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised that there wasn't more options. I thought LA, like there'd be way more options out there. But what were you going to ask me about the American food side of things?
Well, I was gonna say, did you get any tacos? Did you get to eat tacos when you're out there?
No, but I remember you talking about them when we were talking on set.
Yeah. I was just like, it's like there's no fucking tacos, and there's no tacos.
Yeah, I remember you were giving out. That was it. Yeah, you were giving out. You're like, what the fuck to no taco? No, I don't think I did. But yeah, I remember you were looking everywhere, and that you were saying like you eat like tacos for breakfast, dinner, and
I love them, man. Well, especially when they're gone.
Right.
Like, yeah, I mean, when I went to Ireland, I was like, wasn't because I wasn't a big meat eater, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to Ireland, I had also just come from this thing called the Marin Agricultural Land Trust, like this, talking with these people out there, and they were talking about, hey, green grass makes happy cows. If you want great beef, it's green grass. And then out here, there's zero green grass. I mean, like, it's all just brown or on fire, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so it's so dry out here. And and so when I went to Ireland, I just noticed the greenest grass there is, right?
Yeah.
That's Ireland. And and then I was like, all right, I got to try the beef out here. And yeah, they're right. Like, it makes happy cows, and it makes amazing, you know, beef and milk and butter. And I was like, oh, and not only that, but it was super cheap. So like, yeah, raw butter in Ireland, which is the greatest butter I've ever had, was like $2.50. Like out here, it's $20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know.
One thing I did notice about LA this time, and I've been in the States so many times, and I lived in California and everything like that. The food waste was actually crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Like the waste of food, I was just like, it really shocked me, like, you know, how much food was wasted. And what also shocked me as well is, and this is why the diabetes, I suppose, is so rife. And like, it's like, it was cheaper to go large than it was to go small.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, oh, you want to go for a small sub? Yeah, that's going to be $20. Oh, you want to go for our mega maximum meal with a book Coke and all that? That's $5. It's like, how does it make sense?
Yeah.
You know? Great. Yeah. That was just my observation on it, and it's not something that I would be looking out for or be aware of, but just the food waste, I was like, wow, there's so much food wasted here. And then versus like the homelessness and the poverty like that you see on the streets, I was like, there's something not right there. Yeah. You know? Do you think that's a valid observation?
Yeah, I'll send you some footage of what's going on out in. I mean, if I were to open my big door to my right, and I were to just walk 20 feet, not even, it will just be tents.
Yeah, and I think, did you put up a video or something I saw?
Yeah, and that was just a little bit. That was just a block in any direction. But
Yeah.
one of the homeless encampments just caught fire. There's a bunch of shootings in one of them, and they're getting pretty intense right now. And they're just
Wow. Yeah.
growing. They have to just they got to give up, and they're everywhere you go. And then because I also live along these train tracks, and all along the train tracks, if you look, it's like a shanty town in India. I mean, it's just like because they're building solid structures now. I'm actually about to do a situational awareness talk with one of the homeless guys right outside.
Oh wow.
Just kind of talking to him about how he used it. He's a real nice guy. We hire him for a lot of stuff. He works really hard.
Yeah.
But homelessness is off the charts.
And mental. Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the homelessness versus the mental health, and it was really sad because you could just see that just people just need help, and it just seems like they've been given up on, But it was shocking, and I was in LA. Maybe the last time I was in LA was maybe 10 years ago. But from 10 years ago to what I saw when I was there this year, it was like, wow, is like, it's sad. Like, really, really, really bad. So,
So how do you eat for health? Like what do you do for your health? Like your movement and your food?
I'm the worst vegetarian in the world.
Okay.
I'm so bad because I don't eat vegetables. So I'm really, really bad. And the vegetarian thing was something that I never in a million years thought that I could do, because I'm a plain eater, and like chicken was just my main food source, that was mainly chicken. And I would have still eaten meat, red meat, but not a lot. It was mainly chicken. But just I'm a massive animal lover, and I just couldn't make the separation anymore. So that was the reason for it for me. I just could not separate my emotions to eating an animal, so it wasn't really a health thing. But at the same time, then, since I was a kid, I was I was lactose intolerant when I was a kid, and I'm not bad with it now. But if I do have too much milk or too much cheese or ice cream or anything like that, I always end up feeling quite sick afterwards, Yeah. So food-wise, I eat a lot of the replica chickens and meats, and and I know they're processed and they're probably bad for you as well. But I eat a lot of that. I eat tons of fruit, smoothies, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty bad because I don't eat many vegetables, So
if you were to take me somewhere in Ireland to eat, where would you take me?
Where would I take you? There's an amazing. Do you like Chinese food?
I love Chinese food.
Yeah, there's an amazing Chinese in where I live, just down the road there. Oh, it's so good, and they're so friendly as well. And when you walk in, they know you, and it's just we love going there. So I definitely there. Actually, that hike we were meant to go on, there's a place called Fitzpatrick's out. Yeah. It's an old pub that's been there for hundreds of years, and they do the most amazing seafood chowder and really rustic Irishy meals. You would have dug that place. We plan on taking you there as well. So yeah, diet wise, I'm not the best, and when I changed over from not eating meat, it took my body a while to adjust, and I had to get the right balance of getting vitamins in and replacing what I was missing in plant-based form in smoothies and stuff like that. It took me a while but I never thought I could do it. And then once I found out that the foods that were replicating the meat were getting better because they used to be awful, I'm fine with it, and I don't think I'd ever go back. So you just don't eat a lot of meat, but
music and food were the things. So I was so devoted to martial arts, those other three things connected me to people. So for example, I got a bunch of wild animals, wild ducks and stuff in my freezer right now, and it's friends shoot them and then they bring them over. So I have stuff like that. And then there's this part of me that I was so I guess removed and irrelevant in so many circles. I figured I needed to keep as many things around me to where I could at least have some kind of community. Yeah. And then I was a chef. So I don't know if you knew that about, but that was I started working in restaurants when I was 12, and then I went to culinary school and I was a chef and blah, 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 blah. And so then I just really gotten into cooking. Do you cook?
No, I'm terrible. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You spend all your time making movies.
Yeah, I'm like, the faster the food is ready and done, I'm good. I know
Yeah.
some people find it, but I have no patience, so no, I'm
Yeah.
not good. I know you're a chef. Just add that to the list, huh?
It was yeah, you know, it's like it was for survival. My parents didn't really cook very much, and I mean they did, but we were just so busy as kids, and a lot of my family's in West Virginia, which they call that the Mountain Dew Belt. You know,
Yeah.
it's just big giant sodas and you know, sugar, and I had some kind of health issues, and that wasn't doing well for me. So I started eating a lot for health. I realized I needed to kind of take the power back, so I, you know, learn how
Yeah.
to do it myself. So I started doing that, and
Sure.
I got to cook in some really high end, super nice restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I I get it with the social side of it, because with the vegetarian thing and, the vegan thing, it's like a lot of people put a negative spin on it because they just don't want to, they've been brought up that way, and they don't care about the animal side of it, they don't care what they're eating and stuff. So I do find like the social situations can be a little bit awkward, and it's kind of like if you're out with a restaurant with friends and all that, and it's kind of like, oh, well, Baz is vegetarian, so like he won't be able to eat anything here, and what's he going to eat? And they're making you feel awkward, wherever
yeah,
you go. That kind of stigmatization around it, and it's not something that I don't tell people. I'm I know that gets a vibe. It's not something I tell anyone. I just if I'm out in the restaurant, I'll just order something, but I won't say to anybody I'm vegetarian, because I don't
yeah,
need to tell
yeah,
my own thing again. And so I do get the social side of it, because there has been a few occasions where it's just like, oh, we can't go there because Baz won't eat anything there. And it's
yeah.
like, well, thanks for making me feel like a dickhead, but I'm not going to change my values just want to get a burger.
Yeah, there
So,
was something about well, that you also will go down in the history as the only vegetarian not to say it within the first like 3 sentences. It's like what is it? When people go Wiccan, like they can't fucking, it's like I'm Wiccan, or like I'm vegetarian, it's like, so you are in history the only person that.
yeah, yeah. And that gets a negative spin, because, people, but again, I know a certain guy that worked for me, and I swear he became vegan for Instagram.
Oh yeah,
Like,
a lot of people do that.
he saw that people were getting attention, like, for that reason, and like he went in, and that was his reason, and he couldn't wait to tell enough people. And it's those
Yeah.
kind of people give it a negative spin.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, do the thing. You don't need to tell anyone about it. But fitness wise, I mean, drumming would be my cardiovascular workout. I'm not obviously getting to do that much now, with gigs
yeah,
all being on hold. And I go to the gym. Like, I try to go to the gym every morning during the week. And yeah, if I don't get to go to the gym, I don't enjoy going to the gym. Like,
yeah,
I don't really like it. But if I don't go, then I start feeling crap,
yeah.
or I don't get that, aggression out, or just to do my workout. So they'd be my main two.
Have you gotten to do so? I mean, I was wondering this about I mean, I don't like working out either. Like, honestly, I just do it because I know it makes me a better person, nicer, and it actualizes who I am. But like,
Yeah.
for example, you got to do some of the some movement stuff, because you are like, you're in your body. And I remember, like, someone was asking the way I met you, and I was like, well, I was just this stunt guy just standing next to Baz when, and our job is to kind of like make sure, when the action happens, no one gets really hurt. But you actually, you got to do some stuff,
Yeah.
Have you got to
Yeah.
do any stunts or anything?
I got to choreograph a stunt scene for, it was just a short movie, like a science fiction movie,
Yeah.
that I was working on about 4 weeks ago, and I had so much fun with it. And then when I saw the footage back, just you know yourself, like that buzz when you see it, you're like, fuck yeah, that looks
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
when you come from, just even a martial arts background, and like, I'm not trained in the stunt side of it like you, but you know what looks real and what doesn't, and
Yeah.
what angle to do and all that. So that was really fun. And I got to do a little bit of kind of stunt stuff in that as well. on my own. But I was working on. I got to do actually a bit of samurai sword fighting in a movie I was in last year. That was fun. That was cool. Yeah.
You get in crazy shape, do it. You know, it's that whole thing of like being a performer. It's like, you know, you could dislocate your shoulder 10 minutes before a gig, but you're going to, you know, it's like there's this weird thing about like, but I'm going to do the gig.
Yeah.
It's kind of yeah.
I really wanted to ask you, I don't know if you want to answer it on this, but how was the guy that with the stunt that hurt his back on Badlands? Is he good?
Andy.
Yeah, he's all good, is he?
Yeah, I just talked to him. Yeah, he just did a movie. Everyone's always hurting something, you know.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's good. You know, that Into the Badlands was kind of his last. He did an interview after that. He's like, no, he just kind of left it all on that set. You know, I mean, he might do some stunts every now and then, but I mean, you know, he healed up well. I mean, he just had like a weird, you know, he just hit a corner, missed a pad, you know, kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm after being cast as like a UFC fighter, like a cage fighter next year for the film, and I'm just thinking, fuck, I need to get in shape.
Yeah.
I need to start doing some cardio again.
Well, for a thank you to this, I'll send you like some really cool conditioning sets from this site that I'm putting it on. Yeah, things you could do like super hyper efficient, super clean. I'll get you rocked out.
Amazing, yeah, because I need it. Like my cardio side is definitely, and I know what it takes to, you know, get up to the fitness level of when you're doing cage fighting, and I'm nowhere near that. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was that's a whole other world. Tell us your name now that we've gone through an hour and 40. Tell us your name and where you're at. And
my name is Baz Black, and I'm based in Ireland.
And you do what? All kinds of shit.
Oh, everything. Yeah, back of all trades. I'm an actor. I'm a musician. I'm a drummer. I'm an author. I'm a director, script writer. And
what's the name of your book?
Ink Princess is the name of the book. Did I tell you the rights got picked up by a UK company to make that into a film?
No.
Did I? Oh, no,
yeah.
Yeah.
You got too much going on. You forget about all that. Yeah.
I just casually throw that in there. It got picked up last year, but obviously everything's just on hold at the moment.
Yeah.
With the whole situation. So yeah, that's me. That's my life, and that's pretty much it.
By the way, thanks, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Come on, it's so good to see you. So good to talk to you.